taunt, like Sayaka and Toma, who are better than him, they only last like 30 seconds for their taunt. So if they're fainted for a long time or something, or if there's like an endless with Fongyan, it's like you have to time it well, or in the case of Toma and Sayaka, for chapter 25, not to let them do damage so they're not fainted for too long, because 30 seconds is not too long with Fong fights, because Fongjian is like really, his shit lasts a while. So Curie still is good there for the longer taunt, and for the res down cleanse if you're getting a lot of res down cleanses, like on chapter 24. But you don't really need Curie on chapter 24 anymore. You can use Sayaka to taunt with it without even having to cleanse res downs, because she's just that insane. uh yeah, I can post a video on that later. But moving on, Kokiri. I'm gonna put her in. I want to put her in C, but I'm gonna put her in mid. She does have good fire res down, but we have gotten Ira and Shizu since she came out, and they have better fire res down, and her 200% crit damage up is kind of just mid now. So yeah, she's just trash. Um, I do think when she released, she was better than people were saying, just for the 200% crit damage up. But then Hoka came out, so why would you use her? And then for the fire is down, others came out, and fire is kind of mid anyways. So yeah, she's just mid. Hazuki, I'm gonna put in C tier. She can still ramp up decent damage with 150% fizz damage up, and then 130% arts damage up. And then she has that 30% damage res too, but like her multipliers are low as shit. And her duration on her res down for the super art isn't that long. So if you're rotating true and super, you're most likely gonna lose the light res down for a little bit, which is not terrible, but I mean, I don't know, it's something, I guess. And it's only 100% light res down, not the best. She's just kind of outdated. Why have someone ramp up your damage without doing damage themselves, when you can have someone just actually do damage and ramp, like Okarun, or even Summer Miu does more damage too. She also like only provides damage res besides just damage support. So again, that's like not too helpful. I don't know. Kind of whatever. The accuracy is something, but again, she's not doing damage herself, so having her own accuracy and then 50 AoE is kind of whatever, when a lot of units have accuracy these days. You could also just get accuracy from equips. Fen, I'm gonna put him in B tier. He does some stuff. Equip CT is kind of mid these days. Equips are just you don't really need equips to be full uptime anymore. They're still useful. Equips are still amazing, but you don't need that full uptime Garg anymore when your taunt has like 100% passive damage risk just from its own equips. Like, taunts are just insane these days. And then mitigators are so good, and so many defense slots on the team nowadays that just, you don't need that one defense slot that you have in your comp to be full uptime when you have 3 defense slots nowadays. It's just, times have changed. Equip CT is not really important anymore. It's still nice if you have it on a unit that you're using anyways. It's a cool bonus, but I wouldn't choose a unit for it. And then his Archgen 4 APS for 20 seconds. It's just weak uptime, weak amount. Having crit doesn't matter much because everyone has crit. And then the accuracy is like 40%, whatever. I mean, he's not bad. He's above C. He's B tier. It's like middle of the road. But I mean, he's just he's a he's a 3-year-old unit at this point. Let's be real. No need to glaze him. Alright, Long. I'm gonna put in mid. I do think he's a little better than people give him credit for, but that doesn't make him good. He's still mid. This guy is dog shit DPS, even after his buff on JP. Terrible. Let's see. Liza is... I'm gonna put... I'm like, I don't know, between C and B. I'm gonna put in B tier purely for nuking capabilities with the recast and the big damage up on True and Super Arts. And then she, if you're using her in sustain, like God Runes or something, she gives a little arch gen with the equip CT and the skill. It's decent, but definitely not nearly as good as she was hyped up to be when she came out. Mira, solid arch gener, but let's be real, Mono Fire is kind of doo-doo. And aside from her arch gen, she does nothing special. I'm gonna put her in C tier, purely because arch geners are always good. For the arch gen, at least. Valentine's Miranda, I'm gonna put her in A tier. She was terrible on release, and even bad after the first set of buffs. But these latest buffs are insane. Let me pull them up real quick. Alright, so 60 arts on skill, 12-second CT, so that's 5 arts per second that she has, so that's solid. That also heals all allies for 1500. It's just straight heals, so don't gotta worry about auto heal killer or anything. The arts last 60 seconds, so that's great. Status res is always great too. Not many places to get like general status res down. True art, 100k multiplier now is solid. 100% chance to inflict poison for 30 seconds. It's a long duration, and 30 seconds of defense ignore, which is solid. Now she has a 200k multiplier and 350% fizz res down if poisoned, with a base of 150% fizz res down. So that's very good. That's like very, very good. 250% damage up against poison enemies. So looking at this, trying to think of who to compare this to. This is like, basically she's gonna hit harder than an Okarun or Saito after they have used their double multiplier arts. Like, she's pretty insane now. She's gonna hit at least, she's gonna hit similar or higher damage than them now. They do still have like 20 and 30k more multiplier, but Saito has 200% less res down, and Okarun has 150% less res down, and both of their passives don't add up to 250% damage up. Now this is conditional, obviously, that she actually can poison the enemy. But there's a decent amount of places that actually can be poisoned. It's just people don't care to, because why would you? But she's a solid DPS and a very good damage support with that massive res down if the boss can be poisoned. So I'm putting her in A. And even without the boss being poisoned, 150% res down, unconditional, her fizz is very good. The only thing that would be better than that would be Yuzu if she's full HP for 200% res down, or Halloween Charlotte who requires bleed. So very good fizz res down. Okay, moving on. Valentine's Priscilla, She's definitely an all-rounder. I wish they increased her durations with the latest buff, but they didn't, except for the skill, which I actually do like. I think the skill didn't last long enough, but I do like that it lasts a little longer now. But yeah, so she's like, you can definitely easily rotate all of her things, but if you have to like double cleanse, that messes up the rotation, and you're definitely going to lose either true arts or super arts, which really sucks. And her super arts animation is very long, which is also really annoying. It's kind of made up for by the extremely short true and normal art animations, but still kind of hurts. Um, Honestly, if they had buffed her to like 5 arts per second, I feel like it would have been a lot better, but I don't know. I wish they could have at least given her 30 seconds on the true art, but they only buffed the super art duration, which is kind of whatever. Super and skill. Yeah, I forgot to mention super art. They did buff the super art by a few seconds. If I can pull her up here. Uh, yeah, it's 35 seconds now, so that's cool. But I mean, with a 25-second true art, it's not really balanced. So I guess you're just less likely to lose the super art now, but you're still going to lose your arch gen, which is somewhat more important. It is what it is, but I'm gonna put her in B tier. There's just better units out there. She's just average. Her top B tier. Aristella Orbis was the highest break res down in the game. Technically, is the highest single break res down in the game until Plat came out. I honestly don't think she's terrible because she's Spirit. She does have that Arch Gen, but only 15 seconds, and it's only 4 APS, so not the best. Her Super Arts is like decent. It takes a bit to ramp, but you get 300% permanent damage up, and it has stats up for heals. She's solid in Defier of Fate, but that's pretty much it. I wouldn't really use her anywhere else unless they came out with like a Spirit Runes or something for Breaker. I'm gonna put her in C tier just because she is technically an Archgen Breaker if you don't have any of the others, though you should have Chloe because she was free. Unless you just started. Alright, Dark Fox. Mid. People glaze the shit out of this guy when he was just a slot mule. I think his true and super arts should have been reversed. He gives the same accuracy and stats up as Victoire does on a true art, on an awoken unit. Uh, Except that, Victoire, sure, her 60% is light conditional, but even if they're not light, she still gives 30%. Meanwhile, Vox over here, if they're not a demon, he gives jack shit. Nothing. It's just terrible. And I mean, he's 3 yards per second. Like, who's asking for 3 yards per second, bro? And at this point, we have so much damage with stuff that we don't need that little extra permanent damage from the relics anymore because we have enough damage already. And demons are kind of just mid as hell right now. So he's just bad. Not bad, but he's mid. That's right. J. Debating between C and B. I think I'm gonna put him in C. I'll put him in B. I'll put him bottom of B. He's just too low of a multiplier. Like, sure, he can still shred most content because most content is older than him, but he's still gonna do it somewhat slowly compared to newer units. Because most of the more modern DPS have a shit ton of res down to just bully unit like enemies like Regulus and Delia, to where they don't even need all that damage up. They're just shredding with the res down alone. Or they're just so much damage up like Hero Sight that they're just shredding anyways without res down. They're just getting all the damage up Jay has, but then double the multiplier or super crit or just better overall. Like, sure, he's spammable on a super art because he has the ramping archgen, but let's be real, archgen has not really been a problem for years now, so it's not really hard to spam super arts on units anyways. He's just, and then the jump starts like, okay, cool, you get a free wave clear. Well, wave clear is not hard, and if the wave clear is something like Regulus, he's not wave clearing that with 200 arts anyways. So I don't know. He's heavily fallen off. Heavily fallen off. Summer Iris. I think she's actually an incredible unit for what she's supposed to be. But I'm gonna put her in C tier because what she's supposed to be is mono fire, and mono fire is buns. Summer Fen. He's just it's hard to put him in mid because he is very good water res down, but Fern also exists now, so I'm gonna put him in mid. Let me double check his res down. I'm pretty sure it's 150. Yeah, his res down is 150. So same as Fern. Fern's just better and has super crit. Yeah, Fen mid. I hate her. Terrible. She has all that damage up, all that super crit, but you still gotta fucking rotate true and super every time. It's annoying. And her damage output, even with all that, is just so bad. Her summons despawn every wave. So annoying. And it takes forever to let them die, especially since mitigators and taunts and stuff are just not letting them die unless you're sacrificing them with the super art. So you have to rotate true and super. You can't just spam super to get them all sacrificed real quick and then ramp her up fast. It's really annoying, and she's just bad. By the way, I would put her in mid if I didn't have this tier for the units I just really don't like. Charlotte. She's not the best DPS. She's solid. She has good accuracy. Massive res down. I'm gonna put her in B tier. Here, let me double check her kit real quick. Yeah, she's below Miranda. I would say she has two advantages over Miranda. And that is the fact that her fizz res down is instantaneous. The second the cut in goes away, it's applied. Like the instant, the exact frame after the cut in goes away, it's applied. So very good for equip nukes. She's instantaneous res down. That's the first thing. Second thing is that it requires bleed instead of poison. It's more tedious to get. Depending on the boss. Obviously, there's some bosses where you just fucking pop one bleed equip or poison equip and they're instantly poisoned. But bleed, you need like multiple equips to get it, and the one equip that does inflict bleed is not even 100% chance. Although that's changing with Toho collab that's coming out. That's a must summon, by the way. Do not miss that 100% bleed equip. But for now, we only have an 80% one, so it's not even guaranteed. And then you need two other equips to inflict the two other stacks of bleed if you want the full amount. But then, even then, it's 310, which is 40% less than V Miranda. And she also has a 15k less multiplier than V Miranda. Though she does not have the damage up that V Miranda has. Unless you use like normal art, but that's still 100% damage less. She does have accuracy. but also just less damage on herself. Uh, More conditional, but easier to apply to like most bosses. Condition for the fizzers down, but yeah, I'd say Miranda's better. All right, moving on. Valerie, I'm gonna put her in B tier because she is solid for Magri's down stacking. Probably the best there is. Summer Elia could have been better, but they didn't want to buff units for some reason last Fate run. But yeah, she's really good for slamming that Magri's down on the true art. She can do some damage on the super art, but she also gives that passive uh, damage res to everyone, which is very good. It is health dependent, which is not the best, but I mean, if you're running a mitigator or a taunt and she's full health, then as long as you keep that barrier up, you're gonna have that full effect, so you're good. Slots are buns, but they're made to work with the super art, so it's fine. And she's overall decent. Halloween Forte. I'm gonna put her in A. She got buffed. She's 5 APS now. And I'm pretty sure 25 seconds on the true art now. I'm double checking right now. Yes, she is. So way better than that 18-second 4 APS. And she also has 250% damage up for Dark Allies and break power up for Dark Allies. So she can make Duke shred. She also has up to 200% passive damage up. So that's solid. And the curse res she has is actually very nice. Like, that might be overlooked, but with her having a cleanse slot, the curse res is nice because she has a chance of not getting that curse, and then she could cleanse everyone with her heal slot. So that's kind of nice. But yeah, her buffs were really good. And yeah, she's solid. Alright. BFM. I'm gonna put him in A tier. He's you could pretty much ignore this, by the way. This is just like the order. You can ignore the order. I'm just kind of putting them wherever in the slots. Like, this isn't necessarily better than this, etc. So Emp is just solid general Archon. The res down is nice, and he has equip CT if you needed. He would be higher if his res down wasn't conditional, number one, and if he could actually have full uptime on his Archon. So, fun fact about Emperor, he cannot have full uptime on his Archon. It's literally impossible. His animation, even with 0 hit stun, will take longer than the duration of his Archon, meaning he has an over 8-second animation, which is ridiculous. Way too long. It looks cool and I love it, but it's way too long. And another problem with him is for some reason, I can't fathom why, but they consider damage over time to be a status ailment. So if you're in any stage with damage over time, you just lose the passive arts he has, which just makes him suck. If he doesn't have that passive arts, he just sucks. Like, genuinely just sucks. So yeah, that's a big problem. Yeah, so he can't have full uptime on our Archon. His conditional res down. Damage over time messes him up. And you just can't rotate him for shit unless you want to lose your Archon for even more than you lose it for that second. Because, it only lasts 8 seconds. It's impossible to rotate and keep the Archon up when he can't even keep the arch gen up on his own, just spamming true art. But he's still solid overall. You know, good arch gen, res down, has equips to T if you do need it. Defense, good slots, defense slot, support slot on LB7s. You can like Narb headdress or Lizard skirt. He's solid. Just there's a couple things that really annoy me about him. All right, Pola. C tier. Solid arch gen. 30 seconds for APS. That's a lot better. What I would have liked to seen from Vpris. Type F, so that's cool. She does have stats up, which is nice. She has more arts if she cleanses an ally with poison. She has damage res to, against poison enemies, so it's stackable with general damage res. And she has a 100% poison, which is really nice. With 100% fit, or 150% fizz damage up, depending on her HP, I'm pretty sure. I mean, obviously she's not the best, but she does have uses, so I wouldn't say she's mid. Roy. This one's obvious. I think he's a top 5 unit, easily. I honestly don't think I could put exact numbers on top 5 units, but SS is basically just going to be the top 5 units. Ainz has heavily fallen off. Heavily. I'm going to put him in B tier, though, because I'd still say he's around Fen level. But yeah, this guy is heavily fallen off. But I mean, it's been almost 2 years since we've had his rerun, so I mean, of course he's outdated. Still solid arch gener though, can solo gen easily, as long as you keep him above 80% HP. Has crit res down, which is nice. One weird thing about him is his crit res down is 25 seconds when his arch gen is 20 seconds, which is really lame, honestly. I don't know why they did that. They should have just made his arch gen 25 seconds as well. It's kind of annoying because sometimes when you're using him, you still see the crit res down. You're like, okay, TA is still up, and you're like, wait, no, it could be down because they don't last the same amount of time, which is really lame. All right, Albedo. I think she's way better than people give her credit for. She's genuinely better than Shirou for demons. Only problem is demons are just buns right now. So it's hard to place her high. I do think she's very good though. So I'm gonna put her in like top of B, even though the order doesn't really matter. Shaltier. She's kind of like, she's really spammable with damage, so she can do damage. But like, problem is, I don't know. She doesn't really have a problem herself. Main problem is just like 200% damage up is kind of whatever, and she's magic. Magic is buns, and I don't know. I'm gonna put her in C tier because nah. Yeah, I'm gonna put her in mid. I'm sorry, she's mid. She can dish out some damage, but not nearly as fast as I would like for someone being able to spam so much. Yeah, she's kind of whatever. And like, her whole thing was that high multiplier. She doubles her thing. You're spamming it on true art. But I'd rather have someone with better buffs and spend 100 more arts on a super art with all these new units also having 200 or higher multipliers. So her gimmick is kind of just gone. Um, maybe if she like did double equips when she had her dupe out, that would be cool. But then the equip would also have to fucking self stack. So whatever. I don't know. That might not be the best unless you're just yeah. I don't know. Whatever. Narb. Narb is E tier. Solid mag res down. She gives stats up. Has mag res and burst darts in the normal art. Good slots. With the double sub slot. She's great for burst arts if you need burst arts for some reason. 30 arts to herself, 20 arts to non-demons. 30 arts to herself, including that 20 arts, because she's a demon, so she gives 30 arts to demons. 200% arts damage up is solid to the leader. Still solid. And with that new Toho unit coming with HP and stuff, she's gonna be like solid for nuke support for that. But yeah, she's mainly just like nuke support these days, so B tier. Ilya, B tier. I would say a lot of people are probably gonna hate me for this, but I would say she's better than Fen. More arts gen, lasts longer, and she has 300% damage up on a 170 multiplier. She's very self-sufficient with that passive she has with the 50 arts refund every time she's above 80 arts and you do, or 80 HP, 80% HP, and she does any of her arts. Great slots. Well, buttons slots for support unit. But if you're using her as a sub DPS, I think the slots are solid. Would have definitely preferred a 5-star support, but and having to choose between the support or defense is kind of annoying. Yeah, slots are not that great. But yeah, so she's not a DPS anymore. Slots are kind of buns, but they were great when she came out, at least, in my opinion. I liked them. Obviously, it always would be better to have a 5-star support, but can't complain. Miu. They actually buffed her quite a bit. But I think she's. Let me double check her buffs. All right, 190 multiplier. Still the same 200% passive and on the super art. 20 seconds. Basically everything looks the same, but slightly higher multiplier. And the passive lasts an extra 30 seconds. I think it was. I just liked that they updated the passive duration and the slightly higher multiplier. I thought the buffs were a little better than this. Yeah, kind of whatever. Probably 200% damage up and defense ignore. And she was free. So gotta give her that. She's free. So if you're around for both Fate runs and you picked up Chloe one time, you could have picked up Miu the other time if you needed defense ignore. I'll give her C tier. I won't put her in B or mid. All right. Chloe. I'm gonna put her in B tier purely because the breakers I'm gonna go back to after we're done. But for now, I'm gonna put her in B tier just because she's just so much slower at breaking than the other breaker archgens. The only thing that's good about her still is that 200 burst arts. But accelerator gives arts now. It's just not burst arts. So it's like, I don't know, man. She's just, I feel like she's heavily fallen off. She is free though, so that's nice. And she's type E, while the other two are type F. I highly prefer type F, so I can, still use my better units that are type E, like Hoka, or Freerin, or you know, um, Rin. Honestly, still great damage up, but takes forever to ramp it. Great res down too, but you're busy ramping the normal art, so that takes a while. I'm gonna put her in C, cause yeah, she's better buffs than Hazuki. Takes twice as long to get them though, but also doesn't have the damage res. I feel like they're somewhat even, cause Hazuki's faster in his damage res. Rin's slower but has way more. But that's all she has is that damage. I guess she does have fire archgen, but yeah. All right, Shirou. I'm gonna put him in S tier. I kind of want like me personally. I want to put him in A, but I know he's still S. Um, to be honest, I just have not used him a single time after beta and Hero Sight came out. Like when beta came out, it's like, okay, well, she doesn't do any damage. So you can still sometimes use Shiro for that little bit of damage because he was still a decent DPS back then. Not like great, but he was still decent. And then H Sight came out. It's like, shit, if I need more Arshan beta, if I need more damage, H Sight, why would I use Shiro anymore? I mean, it's not hard to survive with either beta or H Sight, so I don't need the extra shit that Shiro has with his bigger barrier and 30% Fizz res. Plus, beta has more general res, but no defense slot, so that evens out. But I just think he's kind of like Fen, where he's just like he was so insane that people are just like, oh my gosh, OP, he's invincible with him. It's like, yeah, you're invincible with him, but you also don't need that much invincibility, and he just kind of slows down your runs. Unless you don't have any other Fizzers down in the comp, I guess, then he can still give some Fizzers down. Usually, I do have some other Fizzers down, be it from like Roy or you know, Roy, or even Saito TA if I really needed to. But I mean, there's no reason because I say is enough. But yeah, I just think kind of fell off because you don't really need that much mitigation. Saber, mid. I like to call her Vox 2. She doesn't get the insane skill CT that he gets, but she gets double the arts that he gets from skill. So that's like kind of makes up for that. So they get around the same arts from skill. And she is a pretty fast normal art animation with stats up. Uh, and then, the only difference is she has a defense slot and can deal way more damage. She does not give that accuracy that Vox gives though. I don't know. I just like to call her Vox 2. I know she's not released just the normal art and the skill, but that's the only use I see for her anyways. She's Vox with the defense slot. Yeah, she's kind of just mid. Really slow animations for almost no damage. compared to modern DPS. All right. Anyways, Gabimaru. This is hard to do because he's the GOAT, but he's also mid. He's like Saber tier. Basically the same thing as Saber, honestly. It's just that some of the super crits passive, so you can use them for equip nukes, but we could just homer it now, so we don't need that. Yeah, mid. All right, moving on. Sagiri, fuck you. All right, Chobe. In an ideal scenario, he can deal more damage than Jay. But you don't always, you rarely get an ideal scenario. He can also break though, which is nice. That adds a lot to him. So I'm just gonna put him in the same tier as Jay. Cause yeah. He has two roles. Doesn't excel at either of them, but isn't bad at either of them. So kind of just middle of the road. Yeah. D tier. Plus he has a defense slot, which is way better. Rimuru. DL Rim. This guy's goated. I'm heavily biased for him because I love slime. And Rimuru is just super cool. I really want to see his buffs. But of course, in GS fashion, they are, for some reason, not having the damn buffs out when the crossover drops. Because, of course. Dumb as fucking shit. They're not dropping the buffs until the new units come out, which is the dumbest fucking shit. We don't know when the units are coming out. So it might be a week, maybe even 2 weeks until we actually get the buffs on these fuckers. But yeah, this is lame. I think it's really lame. But I'm going to I'm gonna bring him up on screen. I'm gonna tell you what my guess is for his buffs. Last time they gave him 10k more on the super arts. My guess is that he's gonna go to 190. This is gonna be raised to 150 because this was raised by 10% last time. So I think they're just gonna make it an even 150 now with a 190k multiplier, maybe 200, but that's really hopeful thinking. I think 190 is even hopeful thinking. It's probably just gonna be 180. But yeah, my this is what I really want. I want this to go to 45 seconds. I either want 45 seconds on this or 80% on this. I want to get that one more stack or that one more stack worth of from the extra buff of damage wrist down. Because I mean, you're not really using this in many places anyways, and like if you're on one stage for the full 40 or 45 seconds with a buff to like fully stack this on a boss, it's like I feel like you kind of earned that. So I think it wouldn't really be insane to increase the duration of this. And then I think he's fine. He would be okay with actually increasing this to even 200k and even increasing the crit, super crit to 50% and this to 150%. I think that would be acceptable simply because he doesn't have attack ratio, so he's already way behind other units. So making his super like insane wouldn't be crazy because these other units are still gonna have higher multiplier and they're still gonna have like double multiplier on first use or whatever. So it's like it's not gonna make him insane, but it will make him viable. That's what I want. Him having an insane super art but without the attack ratio and without the double multiplier, will make him viable, and I like that. I want him to just be viable. I don't need him to be broken, but I want him to be actually usable in the current meta. Because Rimuru's the GOAT. Yeah, that's mainly my only hopes, is just make this 190 to 200k, make this 50% super crit, and make this 150%. If they just left this multiplier and damage as they did, but even raise the super crit to 60, maybe 70, I would be fine with that too. But I want some serious buffs on the super art, maybe like 5 to maybe even 10 seconds more on the true art. That's really what I want. If they give them those buffs, I think he'd just be A tier. Like, I think he'd still just be solid. But for now, I'm gonna put him in B tier. He's still usable easily and good, but like, you know, that's him on his own. In a vacuum, Deal Rim is still a good unit, but when you compare him to other units, which is what I'm doing with this list, he falls short. He doesn't fall off, but he falls short. Lim is, dude, if they buffed her with an attack ratio passive, she'd actually be like a fucking insane DPS. Insane DPS. If they just give her attack ratio passive. But the fact that she has almost no arch on her own and almost no buffs on her own, besides that like 50% passive, and she's just a raw multiplier, it's like, nah, man. And she doesn't like contribute anything to the team either, besides flinch res that would just completely erase your stacks, so you can't use it anyways. So she's just, yeah, she's mid. She has great potential if they give her the right buffs, but for now she's mid. Diablo, I hate that guy. Only arching to 2 units. Like, if you're not even gonna do the full team, just remove the conditional part, bro. Like, it's not even the full team. Come on. And like, why not himself? Like, what the hell? Like, what? No arts on himself besides that skill, which is kind of whatever. And then his let me check his buffs, because I'm like pretty sure it's like 120 or 100% Vizra's down. Where's this guy at? 80% Vizra's down. They didn't even bring it to 100. That 40% evasion rate down. That's buns, dude. Super art. 130% dark was down. I'm like, dude, I'd rather just Sakura. I'd 100% rather just Sakura. This guy's buns. And his true weapon's ass. His true weapon is so bad. It's like, it's such low uptime. Like, oh wow, 30% general damage risk for 15 seconds. Wow, so goated. So goated, guys. No. 40 seconds CT. That's terrible. 15 seconds is like, you're not lasting through Fong with that. Fong is the only thing that like general damage risk really matters for. So it's like, who cares? Just use normal elemental or type damage risk. Yeah, buns. He's bad. I don't know why people like him. He's bad. Raku. Raku. Fen. He is not Fen 2. People compare him to Fen. Oh, he's just like Fen. No, he's not. His problem though is he's type E without giving any team buffs besides evasion rate down and Fizra's down, and that's just kind of buns. He doesn't do damage anymore unless you buff him, and I used him the second he came out. I stopped using Fen because he had more arch gen, and he was way easier to self-rotate and a lot faster at rotating, so he could do way more damage. But Yeah, he have the like the dead in the water second Hoka came out. Dead in the water. If you don't have Hoka, I would use him, honestly, unless you had Alpha. But yeah, Hoka just killed him, dude. Brutally murdered him. All right. Pencil. Put an A. We'll get back to the breakers at the end. I'm just gonna put them where I put them now. Katsu. I'm biased. He's actually solid, but I really don't like. Really, really don't like his HP conditions. I really freaking hate them, dude. Because like I so badly want to give him grief, but you can't, dude. And it's like, he's mag too. Nah, I gotta go to B. No, I want to. He just feels so slow. he's like, he's actually good. Like, just dude, hero sight 3% attack to damage ratio, right? This guy has that same 3%, and for defense as well. Like that's insane. That's insane passive damage up. Insane. But but magic, way lower multiplier. But he does have the res down as well. Yet he still seems to fall short because, dude, just the HP stuff kills me, man. It kills me. I hate, like, I would have much rather have had um I would have much rather have had HP conditional res down where it depends on the amount of HP he has for how much res down he gives. I hate it when it's just like if you are lacking the HP, it does jack shit, nothing. I hate that. I really hate that. Like it's not hard to keep him high HP, obviously, but I just really dislike when a unit just doesn't do something if their HP is not what it wants. I really don't like that. Um, I will put him in B though because his damage is similar to J or better. Um, Momon, A tier. Momon is still an insane nuke support and is in basically almost every crest auto that I have. He's just so good for row, especially if you have LB7. All right. Demiurge, dog shit. Sorry, Spy. I know you love him. He's dog shit. Evil Eye, underrated. Literally just she's like magic team Hoka with less damage up, but also does damage herself to make up for it with damage res. But also, has way less in the kit. I'm mainly just talking about the super art. I actually think she's solid. Definitely B tier. If Magic was better, I would say she's A tier, but Magic's kind of shit. And I don't like that her super was only 20 seconds. Makes it a little hard to rotate in that normal art and still have full uptime. Unless you have good arch gen. So she's kind of just restricted to mono earth. But yeah, she would be a lot better if Magic was better and if Earth was better. If either one of those was better, she'd be a lot better. But she's just kind of stuck right now because both Earth and Magic are bad. Uzu, great DPS. Um, uh, A tier. He's a great DPS, but I mean, three true arts is honestly not even that bad to ramp. But you need three true arts and a normal heart. And then it's just like his animation is kind of slow, but he does do a fuck ton of damage, so it's worth it. And it's just like he's so good. He's genuinely so good. But it's just like hard to use him because I just have that bias for Okarun and Saito and Hero Sight. I genuinely think he's not on their level, but close to their level for damage. But he's just missing that attack ratio, so it's I just have that bias, you know. It's just like it's hard to use him because it's just like attack ratio is so good. That damage boost passive, man, it's insane. All right, Hoka, we all know Hoka. Gamagori, B tier. Uh, Worse taunt than Curie, but does damage. But his damage is kind of mid. It was kind of whatever before, but now that Toma and Sayaka are out, it's even worse. So his only redeeming quality is the self damage. So even if you have like heals, it's fine. But like his self damage was only equal to like a Hoka skill, so it's like if you have Hoka in the comp, he's just basically gonna stay similar or very slowly lose HP. Uh, but I mean, he had free luck, so you know you could have Toe, Godchild, and equipment CT on him, so that's cool. But yeah, I don't know. He's kind of whatever. I do like the buff on the super art, so it lasts longer. That was really nice. But yeah, he's kind of meh. On uh B tier. I think people shit on her too much. I'm just gonna put her here because I like her. People shit on her too much. I think she's actually very good. She has great res down. She has 2% attack ratio, which is solid. She has a good 190k multiplier. She gives arts to everyone every wave, depending on race and element. But most of the time you'll have humans, and light is really good right now, so a lot of times you'll also have light. And good slots. And she just does good damage herself. She's just overall solid. Like, I mean, I wouldn't compare her to the Fizz DPS because you know they're Fizz, but she does like more damage than Jay. Um, so yeah, solid. Summer Ilya C tier. She's not mid. She does have the stacking Magras down, which is okay. Only lasts 30 seconds, so you can only get like 3.5 stacks. It's kind of whatever. But she does have that burn res, which is a cool niche. And water units damage up. I mean, she does have one or two uses, but she's not good. So, C tier. Summer Mayu. I'm hold off on this one for a while because I don't know. It's like between A and B, it's like kind of hard. Smart Chloe, A tier. You can out heal a Fong's half thresh on Sunday Nova. You can use her to abuse Grand Battle EX bosses. Because her healing is passive. So if you like wanted to bring heart for heals or something, you'd have to actually get the true art first, which can be annoying if you played their The Grand Battle EX bosses, you know what they do. So her passive heals are great. She has solid damage up on the super art. She's a healer Archgener with status res AoE. That's very good. She doesn't have a cleanse like Rimuru, but she does have status res. So very good. She can bring a cleanse though, because she has a heal slot, so solid. My only, and she gives 7 APS, or 5 if you're not light. My only issue with her is 0 self Archgen in kit. 0. Besides her AoE Archgen on True Arts. If you need LB7 for 4-star support, but besides that, like, not a single bit of Archgen in her entire kit. None. The only Archgen besides the True Art would be the starting arts and 10 arts on the True Weapon, but that's an equip. I'm not counting that. It's not arts per second, anyways. Yeah, so kind of rough, but I mean, still a good unit. Bazette. I mean, 200% accuracy, 500% damage up, only like 160k multiplier if I remember right. Check real quick though. Bazette. 160? What's the buff? Yes, oh, it's still 160. Okay. Yeah. Oh, there was no buffer. Yeah, she came out last time and they didn't buff. Yeah. Okay. So mid. I think she's mid. Luvia. S tier. Best nuke support in the game. 100%. S tier. All right. Sakura. I'm gonna put in B tier. She has mag res. She has mag damage up. She has dark res down. 150% unconditional, so that's way better than Momon's unconditional. But she needs blind for 200%, so the 200% is still conditional, just like Momon. But I mean, depends if you could blind or not, really, if that's a bad thing. And she's a defense slot, so she's like, she could be like, I don't know. She has mag res and defense slot, so she can help with some damage res, and she gives 5 arts per second, 150 damage up passive to the leader. So, I mean, that's like solid. Dark is solid right now, purely from Saito. Homura can actually do some damage, but she's kind of glitched right now. I don't know if they fixed her bug, but she's bugged right now. From what I've seen, I don't know if this is exactly how it works, but her normal art ramping, if you give her outside arts damage up, it'll replace her normal art ramping buff, and then she will not be able to normal art again. Like well, she can, but you won't get the buff from the normal art ever again. Once that you have another buff replace her ramp buff, so then she just becomes shit without that ramping damage up. So that sucks. Talking about her, we could just do her right now. I'm gonna put her in B tier. She's like a meh average whatever DPS. Could be solid for group nukes since you can have super crit and reset it with a super art, so that's cool. She has 200%, 200 arts starting with the true weapon too, so it's easy to get her to super art like really quick. She has solid damage up, fast true art with a really good multiplier, equip CT. I mean, it's all cool stuff, but I mean, she just, you know, you actually gotta ramp her for a bit first with 8 normal arts, which can take some time, and I don't know, kind of kind of bad with that glitch. So can't really say she's too good when she's bugged. Shadow. If you had asked me this like if you had asked me how good he was around free run time, I would have said top 5. I still think he's top 10, but I've been using him less since attack ratio and Okarun is just so much damage up, and the DPS have their own res down, that he's just like, you're doing the same damage as if you had him, or more same or more damage if you had him. Just from the attack up, like having so much insane damage up in the comp. Uh, I'm gonna put him in SS for now. If we get 2 other SS and then I feel like another person is better than him, I'll move him out of SS into S. Let's see. Alpha. I think the hate is unnecessary. It does suck that it's fizz damage up, so it doesn't stack with Roy. Because she would have been a great, or not great, but like a good Hoka replacement. Obviously Hoka's better, but I'm saying like if you don't have Hoka, she would be a good replacement. Substitute, stand-in, whatever. If she didn't give fizz damage up, because of that, you can't use her with Roy, which really sucks. Her super art's also annoying because if you lose the damage up buff, it resets it back to 100 on the next use. So that means if you get fainted or go through like a Fong art or something, like, it's just annoying because you can't do shit about it. But hey, guess what? You lost your buffs. I'm gonna put her B tier. I think she gets more hate than she deserves. She's definitely usable, solid, not like insane or anything though. Beta, top 5 unit. Delta, she could deal solid damage. I just don't like that. 1, she's fire, and 2, slots are kind of bad, and 3, her animations are like not that good. Like, they're kind of long, and she wants to ramp up a lot of true arts. You could just ignore that super hard spam, get solid damage too, but I mean, I would at least like rotate probably the true art super, which just, like, I mean, yeah, you'll get more damage out of that, but at the same time, I just don't like having to put in extra work to get your damage when someone like Saito or Misaka or Young Yamp or H-Site, etc. exists, that you could just spam the damage and just shred. So I'm gonna put her in B tier. Kyoko, C tier. Archgen, I don't like how many types it is. It's annoying. On one hand, you're most likely going to get at least one of them to work because there's so many of them. But on the other hand, in Mono Fire, you're always going to have Summer Iris. So half her Archgen is already off the table. And even though she has 300% damage up, 230k multiplier, and 300% attack up, the attack doesn't really matter because she's on attack ratio. She still seems to not do much damage, which I really don't like. She is the only ascended unit who can paralyze until Toho at least, but she's still just, I don't know, she's just like underwhelming. I feel like she would have been a lot better. Like on paper, she looks really good, but after using her myself, she just didn't do as much as I would have hoped. Sayaka. Now, here's where things get hard. She belongs there, but then I see a couple units coming up that I think also belong there, which makes it really difficult. So as much as I hate to do it, I think I'm gonna move Shadow down to S. Top of S though. I mean, C tier. She definitely can break. She can equip break easily because she has break ratio, attack ratio for break. And solid slots for break. Her ramping, she can do insane break. You don't even need the full ramps. You can just ramp her like 3 times and she's already 150 breakup, which is insane. You ramp her fucking, I'm pretty sure Pencilon is 200 breakup. Unless I'm wrong. Might be 150, but I always mix up her buffs. Pencilon. Yeah, 200 breakup. So I mean that's only 4 normal arts, and then it's permanent. You don't even gotta like rotate like you do on pencil. You can just spam the super art. So that's like really good. Um, obviously she doesn't art gen though, so that's already a big step down. But she has a ton of damage up, so she can do decent damage. Not insane damage, but decent damage. Um, yeah, I'll put her in C tier. Um, yeah, I feel like she's like top C because she can do some damage as a breaker, but which is kind of rare. But I mean, it's just I don't need my breaker to really be the DPS kind of thing. Madoka, I think people underestimate her. I think she's A tier. She is she's Shirou without a defense slot, but has stats up, heals, a longer duration, 25 seconds, so it can last through a whole endless on the normal art. And the damage res, you don't need a mode for. It's just instant and passive. Um, the and she can cleanse res down. I honestly think I would use her over Shirou. Unless I didn't have Fizz res down in the comp, in which case I would use Shirou. She could also give crit and 100% crit damage up. Of course, that doesn't stack with Hoka's crit damage up, so there's that. But if you're in mono light, that's solid. So, and also with her skill, the heals only takes 4 seconds to give 2400 if you have her true open with the heal run up, more if you have a crest on her for heal run up. So, even in like I you can use her skill even in auto heal killer stages because it's so quick. Like when Flog goes to half thresh and he like swoops down and does his attack while he's flying down from the top of the screen. After that, you can use her skill and heal for 4 seconds real quick before he does his next hit. Like it's really fast, so you can use it if you time it right, even in auto heal killer stages. And she has 40% stats up on the chart, which is really good. And I honestly I think she's just a solid unit. The only problem is that I wouldn't even use Shirou, but Shirou has more defense because he has the defense slot. So I don't see why I would use her either, unless I specifically need the res down cleanse. Oh, she also has a cleanse though, so that's a reason I would use her. Cleanse or res down cleanse. or the stats up, or there's a few reasons, but I mean, like, I still would use other units over her. Like I would probably just out heal with Summer Chloe or some shit instead, and still have status res. And have Archon. GG mid. This guy does no damage, bro. He's literally just Kyoko without Archon. He does no damage. He only has that Archon on normal plus one time in mid. I honestly think Ira's underrated. I think she's solid. I think she's A tier. She has passive damage res for the whole team. But unlike DL Rim, where it's dependent on his HP, it's just dependent on the unit's HP, which I think is better. Because she can be full health, and everyone else can be full health, while the taunt is low on their own. And then the taunt will still get damage res 30%, so it's solid. She has a defense slot, which is also good. And she has a support slot, which is good. And she has skill arch gen for 5 APS, which I think is great because that means you can use pretty much whatever you want. Still get her arch gen. Like you're not forced to like cycle a certain art to get the arch gen, like with the arch geners that you like, oh, I gotta do true arts to get arch gen. You do whatever you want with her. Of course, true arts is probably recommended for the skill CT to get more arch gen out of her, but you don't necessarily need it. But I mean, it's still good. She has insane fire is down. She's attack ratio. She has like the Kenshin thing for fire, 200% ramping attack up permanent. That stacks with all other attack up besides another Ira. And she has good accuracy and damage up on the normal art. I think she's solid, but people underestimate her. I think she's good. Momo, I think B tier. She's actually really fun to use. Her burst arts is good because it's a fast animation. Equip CT in the mag CT is nice, so she could have 100% CT for her true weapon self-stackable, or if you had a different equip for her. She does solid damage on the super art and AoE 200% damage up. Solid overall. Mag is kind of a downside. Mono water is kind of whatever right now because they don't have like a good attack ratio unit with big damage. Like they have Valerie, but that's different. That's a attack multiplier, and you want a lot more attack for that one than with a ratio passive, so it's like kind of a little harder. But yeah, her damage res is conditional, so it stacks, but it's only for, I might get this wrong, but beasts, dragons, and demons. I'm pretty sure. I'll double check though. Beast, dragons, and demons. Human, demon, beast. Okay, instead of dragons, it's humans. It's a little worse. Maybe not, because we got a lot of dream stages lately that are human, so that's solid, but a lot of bosses are dragons. I feel like a lot of the dragon bosses are probably older bosses, so yeah, humans is probably better. Defense slot is good though too. I mean, she has passive super crit and crit, so I mean, solid unit, can do solid damage. But she's mag, doesn't really contribute too much besides that damage res and damage, which I can have better DPS with slightly less damage res and be way faster and still be fine because I don't need my DPS to be the main mitigator. So yeah. Oak Rune, top tier. It's Oak Rune, we all know. Yubel, I also think this is another underrated unit. Extremely insanely self-sufficient. She gives accuracy. She has more accuracy than Fen. She has more arch gen than Fen. She's type F, which is good. She actually gives damage up to units, but unlike Fen. And she has big res down, unlike Fen. She also gives crit res down, which I would prefer over crit. Unless I was like running her with Hoka, which then that would suck. I'd rather, but you know, that's whatever. The res down is Earth res down, which is kind of a shame because the best Earth DPS already has his own Earth res down and more than her. But if you're running with Uzu, that works out good. I would have to say B tier. If she had a 5-star defense, I'd probably put her in A. But the slots are kind of whatever without LB7, giving her a 4-star defense, which is okay, but I'd much rather be 5-star. Yeah, but she's fun. I like her. Stark, I think, is underestimated. It's hero sight, but take the 4-star, take the 5-star, second 5-star fizz, make it a 4-star, and then remove 80k off the multiplier and give him 150 fizz res down instead. I think in terms of DPS, they are similar, but the main problem with Stark is people focus too much on the true art. You don't even need to do the true art for him to have good damage. He already has 3% attack ratio. Like, H-Sight has no damage up in his kit, and look at the damage he's doing. Stark has 150% fizz res down every time he does super art, and the same passive as H-Sight. He's also going to do good damage. The true arts, I would say, is a bonus that I would just do in like pre-waves to get some extra arts gen. It's like not even necessary. I only have 2 complaints with him. Is that the skill arts is only 1 time, and that the skill arts barrier replaces other barriers. That I really hate that. I wish Mommy and Stark's skill barriers did not replace a mitigator's barriers. That's really lame, but they do. So yeah, that's lame. And like him having a 4-star fizz, it's not even a problem because grief exists. So yeah. Stark, I think, is underestimated. I'm gonna put him in A tier. Fern. She could do solid damage if you give her good support. But I don't like that she needs that support. I also don't like that you can't use the rest of her kit once you do true art. She's great for burst arts with good damage res, and she could do some damage on the super art too. So if you just need the burst arts, and then you could do super art for that little bit of damage if needed. Super arts also last 60 seconds, so you can use it first, and then ramp the true art. True art is an insanely massive multiplier once it's fully ramped with super crit, so that's kind of insane. But besides that, she has 0 damage up in kit, besides that super art, if you did it before the true arts. And if you're still in the same wave, that is. But, and she has great skill too. The only problem is like slots are kind of weak, and she doesn't have damage up in kit besides a super crit. And it's just I hate it when you can't use other arts after you start to ramp something. It's like so lame. It's just like the Malim thing. It's like it's just really lame. So I do think she's actually good. Don't get me wrong. I'm complaining a lot, but I think she's actually good. There's a lot I don't like about her kit, so I'm gonna put her like top B. yeah, as you can see, most of these are like support units with 1, 2 DPS. It's kind of how it goes. Uh, but yeah, Freerin. She's good right now purely because Monolight is very good. Um, if Monolight ever falls off, she's, if you only had the normal and true art, she's just she's just Archgen and some stats up. It's kind of bad. Slots are solid actually with LB7 though. Though without LB7 it's kind of whatever. Um, her skill takes too long in my opinion. I feel like cleansing one unit at random shouldn't take a whole minute to cleanse the whole comp. Like that's kind of over a minute really. But I run skill CT on her crest. But yeah, it's just lame. But also it's awesome that Fruin's in the game. I also hate that the super art is like it could have been 200% to everyone, 200% extra to light, but no, it's only light. It's just, I mean, you can easily face tank stuff though with her 60% stats up, and it's good heals too because the way it works is the first use, it's like a normal 10% stats up. The second use, yes, you only gain 10% more stats up, but it acts like a 20 stats up heal. So if you have 10k health, for example, base health, the first normal art will be 1k more and heal you 1k. The second normal art will add another 1k and bring you to 12 from 11, but it'll heal 2k. So the fifth normal art will also just bring you up 1k, but it'll heal you by 5k. So it gets better and better heals every time. So you can like just ramp it up 3 times to get everyone to 10k for her true arts and super arts, but then save the others for heals if needed. Um, so that's solid. Defense slot is good on her. Support slot is good on her. I always run Narb headdress and can always get that true art before it runs out. So everyone starts off with the 8 APS and then do 2 normal arts, and then my second true art, everyone's already at 10k again anyways, even without Narb headdress, so solid. But like again, like I don't see a reason to use her outside of Monolight. I never use her outside of Monolight ever, unless it's for something super specific, for the stats up or the cleanse. But now Madoka exists, but Madoka doesn't Archgen, so that's also the thing. I'm gonna put her in. Yeah, I would put her in B if we were being like ignoring the meta. But I'm gonna put her in A because of the meta. Because light is just banger after banger unit. Light is so good right now. Index. Um, Index. I'm pretty sure is 30 yards in the normal. Let me double check that. Pretty sure it's 30 yards on the normal. It is. Yeah, that's very good. 30 art burst arts with 30% damage res and instant burst heals on the skill with giving herself skill CT is she's honestly just a solid support unit overall. I think she's like better as Serpa. Um she's like a modern Serpa kind of. She can give insane res down. She gives decent damage up. Uh I gotta put her in B though, just because the burst starts is good, yes, but the problem with burst starts is it's gonna be way less. Like for example, Orbis Arshens 60 arts on her normal arts. Another normal arts Arshen, Kyoko, generates like 90 arts on her normal arts, etc. Like they give away more because it's over time, and you can use other arts while you're still getting the arts gen. But burst arts, you gotta spam it if you want max arts out of it. Which so arts gen isn't as much. She does have a 3 APS to light units, but like it's kind of rough because it's like it's to light units, so you know it's rough. It's only one element. Magra's down. It's insane though. Uh, but I mean, she's good. She's a good support unit. But I wouldn't be picking her for most of my stuff. Even in Mono Light, I picked her for a bit, but then Young Emp came out, and then I'm like, all right, I'm picking Young Emp instead. uh, really good comp though is Young Imp, Index, Misaka, and what's the fourth? Freerin. That's a good comp. That one does some good damage. But yeah, I don't know. It's whatever. She's good. Accelerator. All right. I'll go back to breakers at the end. Toma. I mean, I doubt anyone has even gotten this far in the video, anyways. Probably just fast forwarding to the end to see. You got this far. Comment. I don't know. Comment beans. See who the real gamers are. I don't know. Toma. Mm. See, this is where things get hard because I got Toma and H site to consider, but I'm trying to limit SS to 5 units. This is real hard, bro. Um, Toma. All right, on hold. Cool. I'm gonna drop a few units in there. These are guaranteed to be here. Also gonna put the breakers down there. Where's my Chloe? Okay, cool. Um, Misaka, insane DPS. She has great stats up, and she's just generally overall insane. Great damage support and insane DPS on her own, like just insane DPS. Great res down too if you have double coin. H site on hold. I'll do that stuff at the end. This guy is the go to monofire. But for some reason, whenever he's in comp, the arts feel slow. Although I will say, the arts always feel slow in monofire, even though there's so many arts generators. I don't know why. It just always feels slow. But yeah, he's the go to monofire, but also at the same time, you know, monofire is kind of shit. I'll put him in A though because he's kind of insane. Um, Saito S. He's insane, but Okurun has more res down and has passive damage res and can buff the whole team. And it's just better than Saito. They're kind of like equal on nuking terms, somewhat equal. But uh, Okurun is more support for the whole team. Saito has that stats up, but it's only for humans, which is kind of lame. And it's only 20% for anyone who's not him, which is also lame. Kenshin S tier. This guy's goated. This is considering the light meta though, with H-Sight having insane damage up from Kenshin. And with his damage res passive and defense equip. I also have him LV7 for the support slot, so that's nice. He can do solid damage on his own, too. He can out damage Jay. Yeah, he's really good. Oh, tip for Kenshin, by the way. I always see people doing the normal arts, dude. If Hero Sight is in the comp, he gets like 2.2 times whatever attack up you give him as damage up. Meaning, one stack of Kenshin's 50% attack up is 110% damage up, around there. A little more than that depending on your stuff. But so just don't do normal arts on Kenshin until you're fully stacked with the true arts, bro. Just stack that shit to get it over with, and then you can do normal arts if you want. I wouldn't even bother though. I would just be rotating true and super. I also don't really like how it's 20 seconds. I just really don't like when a moderating unit has a low timer duration on their stuff, which they seem to be doing a lot to compensate for how OP they're getting. Like the taunts are only 30 seconds now. Kenshin's only 20-second arts gen. Freerun's only 20 seconds arts gen. I don't like that stuff. It's annoying, but they're doing a lot more, but they're still good. They're so good. That's just like still good even though it's like that. Shizu B gets somewhat arch gen and gives insane res down. Has damage up, AoE, and burn res down passively, which is very good for specific things. Veldora, I'm gonna give B purely for buffs he gives. He himself, the damage is very underwhelming, but he gives defense ignore, he gives 200% damage up, and he gives 200% attack up, which is very good now with tech ratio stuff. He also gives himself a lot of arch per second, which is cool, but I mean, I wouldn't really be using it to sustain much. He's dragon, so he can shred Zagnus, but you can shred Zagnus with humans using Time Stomp or Sack or Tomar or whatever anyways, but you get the point. Buffs are very good on him. And he's a defense slot, so that's also cool. He can do some damage too, but you know, he's magic, so it's underwhelming. Shuna B. I think she's a better Vipress. That's that. Yeah. I don't care too much for Vipress's damage res. Besides that, Shuna's pretty much the same thing. But Magri's down instead of Fizzer's damage up, I guess. And the cleanse is on the true art, which you're spamming anyways because that's the arch gen, so you don't gotta go out of your way to normal art if you want the cleanse. You just do the normal art for heals. So yeah. I prefer her over Vipress, but they're somewhat similar. Samurai Deal Rim is like, I want him to be good so bad. He looks good on paper, but he's just like so underwhelming. I can't wait to see his buffs. I cannot wait to see his buffs. I want to see them now. I really hope they don't fumble with these buffs, dude. I really hope they don't. He's solid if you don't have Roy for the Fizzers down. So he could just be solid Fizzers down Arch General, some damage himself, and HP up, which is good. So you can get more health and heals if you also have stats up, or if you don't, then still he's HP up. He can do he can give damage up on R2, which is solid slots, etc. He has that passive 20% DR leader for 70 seconds, so long duration, pretty good. But yeah, he's like, he's okay, he's good, but he's like not the insane beast I thought he would be with that massive multiplier. Young Amp, A tier. This guy's goated. Yeah, he's goated. You know, he's young. Honestly, I want to put him S tier, but I can't because he's like he's just for light, dude. I can't put him S tier. If there's a light comp, he's in it, guaranteed. But I wouldn't really think of putting him outside of a light comp. Like he could be the DPS, but like, or it could be like somewhat of an Archenter, but like, why? Why? You just make it a normal comp and it'll be better. Menace, C tier. Boring Arshen, B, 4 APS, or D, 2 extra APS. If you use a monofire, you have Summer Iris. D doesn't matter. Same with Kyoko. It's like the same problem. The B, people don't really use Mira often, so I mean, you know, should I put Mira? Oh, same tier. Yeah, so whatever, but she has a lot more damage. Uh, the True Art, I hate that it's conditional for only 120% visitors down. Like, you don't gotta make that conditional. Like, Shirou has 100% visitors down unconditionally. This is a way newer unit that also isn't a beast at mitigating. So you could have just given her straight 120% visitors down. It would have been fine. But they made it conditional for some reason. Super is super underwhelming for damage. She's just kind of meh. It's just very underwhelming after using her. Platina with the other breakers. Okay, I actually do have Charlotte, but I have not had time to use her. So put her on hold too. Summercelia B tier. You can out heal things like Summer Chloe. She's a barrier, res down. She has a couple statuses, so she has some uses. But she doesn't give Arshen like Summer Chloe, so it is what it is. Summer Mira, B tier. She actually could dish out some pretty solid damage. She can actually do like good damage. Even just being on her own, she gives accuracy, so that's solid. Um, she gives damage res that's stackable with normal damage res to water units, so she can be insane amount of water if you have like Momo, her, and then Roy, and like Hoka or some shit. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. It's just like a random example. I'm not saying that comp's good or not. But yeah, she also has a cleanse. I don't think it's for everything. It might be though. Where's she here? Okay, it is everything but faint. And then she also gives Huntress, so that's solid. But yeah, rotating these is not the most fun thing, but I mean she does good damage, so it's worth it. Yeah, she's cool. Solid DPS. Um, the one B tier. I used him for a bit. He was fun. Would have been cooler if he released a year earlier. You know, H-Site, Saito, Okurun all came out, and he's just like, okay, cool. He's fun gimmick unit, I guess. Then we all know she's fucking useless. As Azel, whatever the fuck his name is, I don't remember. I think people underestimate him. He can have full uptime, 300% damage up to all fire units, 150% accuracy up to all fire units, and 150% break power up to all fire units. That's solid. That's very good. Those are insane buffs for full uptime too. And while having 40% stats up permanently to everyone. That's very good. Um, yeah, he has insane buffs. Solid slots. And break doors down. That's a bonus if you're using them with Chloe or some shit. Mono fire. You need to break. You can ignore Chloe's normal art and just rotate True and Super on her because he can give the breakers down, so that's cool. He's not a pseudo breaker. He's a break support. Mix that up. But yeah, he's Grieve's insane buffs. But he's C because the buffs are fire based and fire spin. Those are underrated in my opinion. He gives some Arshen, not much. It's something though. So I mean, it can. I wouldn't completely ignore it, but I wouldn't be like trying to use him as a secondary Arshen really, unless I had someone who's like solo Arshen, and then he can just be there as support. Um, he gives that passive damage risk though with the bleed. He can do solid damage himself. Gives good res down. I think he's solid unit. He could do solid damage himself too. Only problem is it's kind of inconsistent. You can't like consistently do an AI with him uh for all the damage up because he has to be the one to kill, and unless everyone's stopping and he's the only one doing stuff, then you can't really reliably like make sure he's the one that kills. But even without his damage up, he did pretty solid damage when I was testing him in free practice. But with his damage up, he'd be better, so that's cool. Um, Obviously, free practice does not simulate real quests, but gives an idea of stuff. This is Val. She's the highest damage I've ever attained on free practice. 9.5 billion, higher than Hero Sight. She's insane for DPS if you give her the right comp, but it's kind of annoying that you have to compensate for her to do her highest damage. Um, but she does do good damage. She also gives the heal to the lowest HP unit. She's solid. I would put her in like top B or whatever. Um, but yeah, she's solid. Um, she's at least just a little slow. Eleanor, dog shit. I don't have to explain that. Lark. I think I used them once or twice. It's like Velzard without the damage res. And he has more res down that you don't need bleed for, but it's split into two parts, which is annoying because if you have other res down sources, then half of this stuff is just useless or whatever. Like if you're using him with Stark, you're only getting half the res down from him, so Velzard would just be better anyways. Also, Velzard could do more damage himself because of that passive, if you can manage to get him some kills. I think he's less than Velzard. I think he's, I'd say C tier. He could be decent nuke support if you're limited on units in a comp, but you want big res down. So if you can't run a Fizz and Fire res down unit, he can just give you solid res down for both. I don't know. He's decent. Not really good though. Alright, Valentine Sistina actually got very good recent buffs. Only problem is no passive damage res. She does have that one passive damage res, but it's like only for 10 seconds, which is the dumbest shit ever. Doesn't really need passive damage res though when she has. We got the JP buffs right, isn't it? 60% damage res. Sure, 30% mag and 30% general damage res on her, on everyone actually, with the 6k barrier for 60 seconds. Shit. They buffed the barrier too. Yeah, 10k barrier. So she has a 46k barrier now on herself if you include the super and true. 35-second true art. Again, I wish it was just the normal 40. I don't know why they're like lowering standards. Slots are solid for taunt. I hate how she revives herself or heals herself when she's low. I really freaking hate that, and I really hate how the skill heals you too. I But you want it because it's 6 art per second for 10 seconds. It's good arts gen, but it's like, why the hell are you healing yourself? You're taunt, let yourself be low HP. It's annoying. Yeah, it's just really really annoying. But still solid. She could be even solid mitigator, even if you don't want to taunt. Taunt's just a bonus. She has attack up on the normal arts. So that's cool. She's really useful for God runes. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna put her in. Uh, put her in B tier. She's solid. Um, let's see. Valentine's Liz got a lot better actually. She's like 230%, 240% damage up now if to gods, and 20% normally I think. These just got buffed, so I don't have them in my head completely yet. 15 seconds on the true art. So that's good, and she's like 120 or 130% on the leader passive now too. Sorry, no, what am I thinking? I don't know why. I meant 120 or 130% of what it was. Sorry, 30% increase. The I'm tired. Sorry. 30% HP recovery, 180 seconds, lasts 3 whole minutes now, so that's insane. You get 130% heals from her. That's what I was thinking because no, but it's 15 seconds now, so it's even more. I gotta go to sleep soon. Holy shit. Um, yeah, solid buffs. Cool. Yes, she's good. B. Uh, Heart. A. His damage isn't the best, but he's DPS Archgener still. DPS Archgeners are always good. Um, yeah, he's solid. Always love DPS Archgeners. Merlet. Um, C. No, I have her, but I have yet to use her even though I fucking pitied her because yes, gun bro. Yeah, that looks mid. Mid as hell. Mid. Alright. That's the second Sakura. Let's see. I got this row left. On paper, Charlotte is just underwhelming. She can do some damage, but underwhelming. She has the HP up, which is good. This could be nice for Summer Sistina. But yeah, overall, very underwhelming. Um, she's like J, like cool, 100% super crit. Wow, cool. Yeah, cool. 150k multiplier, dog shit. 1% attack ratio, dog shit. Like, sure, I said Kenshin did good with that, right? But two things: one, he's Fizz. Two, he is 200% attack up. Go with it. She doesn't. Oh, and the third thing, he has a bigger multiplier. Even though it's half a super crit, he is 170k multiplier, which is better. Um, and his super crit is not HP conditional. So yeah, and he archgens, so he's good. She does not. She does that like I think it's like a leader's kill or whatever for the first 20 seconds. It's like 10 APS for 20 seconds. I think it's similar to Lark. Yeah, 10 APS for 20 seconds. Yeah, it is all allies. Lark's is just fire allies. Uh, yeah, underwhelming. Platina A tier. She's very good. Summer Miyu, I'm gonna put A tier. She is nice for the arts, but it's just better. Hero Sight. Moving on. Okay, let's do the breakers. A tier. A tier. I think Accelerator is better than Pencil. I'll just say straight up. I would, if I had a dark DPS, I would use Pencil over Accelerator. Otherwise, I think Accelerator is better than Pencil. He has more break than Pencil. And only thing that she has better is Darker's down on True Art and the support slot. Otherwise, Accelerator is just better in every way. Okay, Chloe, B tier. Yeah, she just fell off. All right. Shadow is S. Doesn't really orders. There's no order, but whatever. Beta. Okay, only 2 of you. All right, say 100%. Oh, this is the tricky one. This is where it gets really hard. This is like really hard. They all arch gen. They're all defensive units. They all give buffs. I would say if they were all taunts, Beta would be the worst one. But Beta's Mitigator, which is better than the taunt most of the time. And her Archgen is just straight 5 APS for 30 seconds, which is insane. So I think purely because they're taunts, I'm gonna put them lower. Because Mitigator is just better. But yeah. This is good. Yep. Yeah, this looks solid. Yeah, so I think this is my tier list. If I just had to guess and throw some units that I don't own in tiers, I'd say Sager C, Sonosuke, we'll probably C. Orvel, I'd say B. Mizet, C. Maybe B. Yeah, B. Yuzu B. Alright, that's where I'd put them, but I don't own them. Yeah, cool. Alright, well, that's my tier list. This took exactly like 2 hours. Cool. No one's gonna watch this whole thing, but who cares? Cool. Alright, see ya.